So now you get to see all the members of the Crown team, and the names. As far as the names go, I thought, you know, if you had a dentist team, it might be better if all the members were named like their names were like adjectives. So adjectives for cleanliness, so I did flawless, speckless, dirtless, faultless, and stainless. And all of their weapons are dental based. Like, as you can see, Speckless has a giant dental mirror. And with her mirror, I believe she can reflect light and use it as a weapon, like almost like when you're a little kid with the magnifying glass and insects. It's kind of that on that same kind of idea. Dirtless has drill hands, which can be pretty deadly, drill into anything. Reminds me of like some of those villains from the Marvel days, like Bushwhacker or something like that. And then Faultless has a gun that is shooting like what was it, like toothpaste, like fluoride and hardened toothpaste. And then Stainless has a uh, dental floss kind of weapon system where he wears it as a backpack, but it has like a little hook on it. And he can electrify the dental floss. He can use it to wrap you up like a rodeo bull or something like that. And then Flawless is just super strong with his giant toothbrush that the bristles are razor sharp. So I think he mentions in one panel that his body was forged in like some molar pits where like it just made him super, like almost like skin, like Luke Cage, where it's just very tough and hard to break through. So he's a very formidable opponent. And then you can see him here getting really dark. Let's purify this sector. And now we cut back to Mondo and Manny, who are trying to figure out a plan to destroy both the Crown team and Muckmouth and his Tartar creeps. And now they're slowly starting to work together. There was always envisioned these guys as two really smart beings that just butt heads about every little thing. And Mondo always feels like he's superior to everybody, where Manny kind of is just about as smart as Mondo, but has to keep him in check, knock him down a few pegs once in a while. So they start to put together that something is wrong with the formula that created the Crown team. And they start to formulate a plan. But Mondo is arrogant as usual, and his ego gets him in trouble here, as the situation is so stressful that Manny loses his cool and punches him in the face. And the whole theme of the issue is like keeping your anger in check and learning to keep your ego in check as well. Whole lesson Manny has to learn here. So after he punches out Mondo, we go back to the Crown team, and the Tartar creep's about to fight, and boom, Flawless starts to attack Muckmouth, and this is the chance that Honeyflakes takes to initiate his plan with Sea-Rat. Shouts to him, and Sea-Rat forms a move where he kind of goes diving into the ground. His beak turns into like a little drill, and he goes right into the ground. And Flawless starts laughing because he thinks it's just a failed rescue attempt. And Amy loves this panel because she loves the way Muckmouth's hands are. And so they're kind of like, they're not in cahoots with each other, but they're kind of both laughing at Honeyflakes for his failed rescue attempt. But then you see what really Sea-Rat was doing. He comes charging out of the ground. I love this full page spread. kind of like his wings wide and knocking all the tartar creeps off of Honey Flakes and freeing him basically. And I don't know where I got the huzzah from. I think it was from watching too much Arrested Development, but I thought it was great for a pirate to say, so we kept that in. But then, like, now that Honey Flakes is free, he's looking to fight the whole team of Flawless and the Crown team. And there's a lot of superhero banter going back and forth on this page. And then this page came out really good. I told Ian to do a 2-page spread, and I didn't tell him any directions. And this is what he came up with. This big splash page where Honey Flakes launches at Flawless, and all the other characters are watching on in horror. And then there's a little bit of a fight on the bottom of the pages. I added a ton of sound effects here to kind of to show how much sword play was going on. But yeah, this 2-page spread came out really good. I really like where it was going. And then now we take a left turn out of nowhere during the issue. And I kind of pull back the issue a little bit and kind of introduce the villains, the actual villains behind everything of the Mighty Mascots here. And this is the first introduction of the Alchem group with Dr. Baneful. And we get to see their building, and you can see that she is monitoring this whole fight. This whole thing was an experiment for her to if you remember last issue, she had the 3D formula dumped into the Value Venture Supermarket sprinkler system, and she basically caused this whole situation to happen. So as we can see, she's watching the monitors, and we see the 2 goons from issue 1 that dumped the formula into the sprinkler system show up and basically looking to get their money from Dr. Baneful. But this is my introduction to her. But also I wanted to let the readers know what was going on, why the formula was created, why she's doing this, things like that. So you get to see her show, and I use the 2 thugs as the reader's point of view so they can answer questions and kind of let she explains the whole situation to them basically. And it's a little wordy, which I hated to do, but especially in the next few pages, it gets a little wordy, but I knew we had to like kind of keep it tight within these like 4 or 5 pages to show, to keep the action moving, things like that. But I did want to give some exposition so people knew what was going on, and it was just this random thing, And I also wanted to establish the big villain in the Mascot universe and everybody behind it. And in this panel, we're introduced to Dr. Baneful's husband, whose body is basically decaying. And the reason she is using the 3D formula is so that she can 3D print a body for him. You got to remember, this is all cartoon logic and superhero world kind of logic. So 3D printing to them is like this unbelievable thing, So that was like kind of the drive here. I wanted like my version of like Shredder or think Mumra, the villain behind the villain kind of thing, So you get to see that he's hooked up to this device, and he's still surviving, but she's trying to figure a way to bring him back. And then she's the kind of person that can snap on a dime, as you can see in this panel. But so she explains to them what's going on, and this is what I mean by wordy. This last panel is pretty damn wordy. I think if I could go back and fix this, I probably would have added an additional page to kind of smooth out this dialogue. But this is, comics are a constant learning process. You learn every issue you do, you learn how to do other things more efficiently, and that kind of thing. So at the time, this didn't seem like a lot of dialogue, but looking at it now, it seems like a lot dialogue, to me. But we end it right here where, she's supposed to hand them the money, but of course, it's some kind of device that breaks down their molecules and sucks them into the briefcase. Are they dead? I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll come back sometime. I don't know. I kind of just did this as a way to show how evil she is, and yeah, we'll see. I don't know if the story will ever call for these guys to come back, but oh yeah, and also another interesting note, which I shared in the first issue, is Ian based these guys off the Wet Bandits from Home Alone. As you can see, great shot of them right here. Marv and was it Harry? I think, yeah, Harry. But yeah, they're based off the Wet Bandits loosely, which is great.